Hey you guys, it's me Kianna coming at you yet again today, and as you can see in the title, this is part 3 of the life of Kianna, and I can't document it as I would like to do, which is on video, and it's kind of difficult to do that as I stated in the other videos, when they only give you a certain allotted time, to actually do it per video, and in an 18 or 15 hour time span, it would be an enormous amount of videos. So rather than do the documenting of the videos and to answer everybody's questions that I've been getting for months of how I'm able to juggle so much and do it all while making sure I maintain how I look and maintain myself and have time for myself, or make sure I maintain my home. So I hope that these tips and all of these videos have helped you in some way, shape, or form. And they're not to make anyone feel like they are not doing something adequately. It's not to, make somebody feel bad about their mothering or their, skills as being a wife, or it's not to make anybody or step on anybody's toes. I'm just simply sharing with you what I've done and how I'm able to maintain it. Now, a lot of people ask me, do I do lists and things like that? No, I don't do lists unless I am shopping or looking to plan a shopping excursion or couponing excursion. I don't have to do lists usually. Now, I will do a list if I have to make several calls or whatever. I will the night before do a list. And I basically, so that I will have a goal of what I need to talk about to each person, I will basically put down some of the key points that I wanted to tackle in our conversation. I also have been known to do a list if I wanted to tackle a informative video. If I want to do a video that's going to inform you guys about something that's serious, I will do a list just to make sure I gather my thoughts and my ideas and make sure that I tackle all the subjects that needed to be addressed at that time. As far as doing a list about my daily chores, I don't have to do that because I believe that I've mastered that. And if you've mastered something, it's no need, it's kind of repetitive to do a list. Um, it's no need to do one. It becomes so routine that you do it without even thinking. Now, I do recommend a list if you are new to trying to juggle your time, if you're new to being a parent, if you're new to being a wife, if you're new to maybe some kind of changes that's becoming your home, maybe somebody else stays with you, you're taking on somebody else's children, things like that. Yes, I would encourage you doing a list. Because again, it becomes repetitive after a while, but in the beginning, it can be quite overwhelming without one. So, as for me, I don't need a list. Again, the things that I do are daily, so there is no need to write it down. It's all written down in my mind. So, um, what else? Hmm. As far as my time, I left off with telling you guys that Nene got her snack that I laid out for her, because that's what I still do, even though she's 16 years old. Um, what else? Oh, okay. Usually around this time, Nene is maybe going to try to play with Pootie or whatever, spend some time with Pootie. She also does a lot of her homework in the cafeteria at her lunch break, because she has also learned how to be efficient with her time as well. I do believe that children look at you as a blueprint on how they should be as women to be, or as just in general as adults. So if they see that you're very time efficient, and if you're the type of person that's not just going to lay around the house and be lazy and do nothing with your life and let your kids run around while you're just laid up on the couch chilling on the telephone, you know, not teaching them anything, that's, I think that children, it winds up actually being a vicious cycle usually. Now, you do get some that actually look at people like their parents like that, and they wind up wanting to be the total opposite of that because they know it's wrong. But sometimes children don't know it's technically wrong to be that type of mother or be that type of a woman because they have seen it themselves done. So therefore, they wind up, having lower standards about motherhood or being a wife and how to run a home and all that kind of stuff. Being a little lax on certain things. Um, so again, she has been known to be very time efficient herself. What I also do is when she does come in and it's around, like I said, about 3 something at this point, she spends a little bit of time with Pootie, usually from like 3:30 to 5. She spends time with Pootie, whether that's outside, and usually it's outside play because Pootie does prefer to go out in the afternoon, around 3 or so in the afternoon. So she usually around 3:30 to about 5 go play with him outside. That gives me and Daddy an opportunity to take a breather, even if it's just by ourselves. It may be by ourselves or together. He has time to maybe talk on the phone to his sisters and things like that. Um, this, this. Good morning. Good afternoon, I mean. You deserve it. Yeah, so, Pootie, get down. Go ahead. Be careful, baby. I'm sorry, you guys. Um, oh, yeah, so whether we spend this time together, but usually we spend it apart. Um, he's maybe catching up on some reading, doing whatever. And these breakdowns are basically a day of if we don't have any fares. Now, Daddy is our main driver, so if we have any fares or anything like that, he is definitely on top of those. He makes sure he's there a half an hour to 45 minutes before the arrival time is scheduled. He makes sure he has all of his information on the clipboard. He makes sure he knows the names of everybody, and I make sure that I give him a cheat sheet of all this information. That's just if we have fares or something that day. So these breakdowns that I'm giving you guys are just if we don't have any fares for that day. So again, back to what I was saying, that he's usually catching up on some reading because he does love to read black novels. So, and urban novels. So he does like to do that. So he maybe catches up on that. Or maybe he runs to the library and gets some movies, or Redbox gets some movies or whatever. As for me, I'm usually spending that time, which is some more small amounts of me time. I'm usually spending that time to make sure that the dinner is laid out. Even if it's not plated, it's laid out. Making sure that I've cleaned up, like I said, behind myself, anything I've overlooked. Making sure that the room is up to par, at least little things that maybe I may overlooked. Also, I maybe do videos, so that's why you see me doing another set of videos around this time. This is because Pootie is, with Nene outside doing his little activities outside, and Daddy is maybe doing whatever he chooses to do with his little free time. So, around 5:30 or so, that's when I need to start plating up dinner. So, that's what I do. Around 5:30, I go ahead and serve everybody. And, I make sure I serve everybody. And what I do is, at that moment, after I serve everybody, I ask them would they like seconds or whatever. And if they don't want seconds, I just go ahead, and usually they do, I just go ahead and wrap up everything then. This is a great way for you to not have stuff all laid out. If anybody comes over, it doesn't look like you done just, threw everything up on the counter and everybody ate all and picked all off of it. You've already done the cooking, but I just go ahead and wrap everything up so that that'll be already done. And plus, those dishes will be freed up so they can be done as well. What, honey? I got them right here. There you go. So what I do from after everybody eats, and that includes myself, it's around 6:30, 7 o'clock. That's wind down time. Usually I spend some time with Nene from like 7 to 8, where that's just her and I. I may be arching her eyebrows. I may be doing her hair, getting her prepared for the next day of school. Maybe she's just showing me an outfit and she's trying to accessorize it. We basically spend our little girl time at that point. And usually Daddy spends his little man time in the little man cave, which is the shed outside with Pootie. So that gives him another opportunity to run around outside and stuff like that. And they spend some bonding time with just the men, and the women spend their time bonding just with us. And this is usually from like 6:45 to 8 o'clock. Around 8 o'clock, that's when I start making sure that Pootie has his bath, making sure that Pootie is already, his hair is moisturized. We make sure that we remain some calmness in the house around like 8 o'clock. You could just tell it's a different tone in the home because we want to make sure that he it is instilled in him that you do not run around when it's bedtime and stuff like that. So we make sure that our tones is a little different as far as vocally. We make sure that we can that everything is starting to be in order for that night. Um, Nene is usually watching one of her favorite shows that come on at 8 o'clock, stuff like America's Top Model and all that kind of stuff. So after Pootie gets his bath, it's about 8:30. It's definitely time for his bedtime. So from 8:30 to 9, I'm spending putting him to sleep. Once 9 o'clock hits and he's asleep, that's when I can also spend some more time with just, Nene, maybe get ready to still get her ready for school the next day. Maybe we're just laughing. Usually 9 o'clock, that's when Nene is doing the dishes for the night. And also she just goes and takes her shower or bath and prepares herself with laying out her clothes and stuff for the next day. Once she's completed that, it's usually around 10 o'clock, so she needs to be in bed. And around 10:30, she's probably asleep, no later. As far as Daddy and I, we're still up. Around like 9:30, I would say, I just make sure, do a quick view of the home, make sure things is already done in order. Usually Nene never puts the dishes away. We hate that, so I usually have to do that. Um, Make sure I thaw anything out that needs to be cooked for the next day. Again, we've already put the food away, so that's no need to do that. And then around 10 o'clock, I'm finally able to sit down and watch some TV, where I can actually watch a whole show all the way through, or a whole movie all the way through without getting just bits and pieces of it. And that's when Daddy and I use the opportunity usually to look at our red box movies and stuff like that. So from 10 to 12, that's usually what we're doing. And we're just, catching up on, anything that needs to be done for the next day. Again, going over anything dealing with the business, if it's necessary. Again, um, just talking to each other, spending some time, maybe discussing something that we like to improve about each other, and all kinds of stuff like that. So, and we do this during the movie. Yes, we do this during the movie if necessary. I do it more than him during a movie. But yeah, so that's basically it. So that's the day of Kianna. I go to sleep around, Daddy goes around midnight. As for me, I go around about 1:30 at the most, to be honest with you. I go to bed around 1:30. But again, I do wake up around 7:30 because Daddy has the baby in the morning usually for me. So, and I get up and do it all over again, you guys. So the only changes are, again, if there's any contracts that need to be fulfilled for that day. Of course, that's a different kind of day. But it's not very strenuous because I make sure that we've been doing it for a while now. We know how to do it, and we know how to do it efficiently. So um, just basically we incorporate that into our day. If I need to do something for my mother, which lives a couple of doors down, of course I include that in there, but I make sure I do that or whatever she needs done around Pootie's nap time. So that way I am still maintaining the things I need to do for my own home while also assisting her and being a daughter to her. So um, that's about it. So that's a day in the life of Kianna, you guys. If you, hopefully you can take something from it, and hopefully it can guide you in some way, shape, or form. I love you all so much. Be blessed.